What is up, Much Music? Sadé here, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the ERAS tour that took place in Toronto. We are halfway through it, and I went to day one. Now, I'm not a Swiftie, not at all. I do really like her popular songs, her bops, the shake it off, or the I need you well, yeah, those songs, classics. But aside from that, everything I know about her was against my will. Now, for all my non-Swifties watching, you want to know, is the hype worth it? Is she really a great performer? What are the fans like? I'm gonna answer all that for you here today because I know you guys as fans of music love performances. There's people that you're not gonna like. There's music you're not going to like. But what everyone can respect is a good show person and a good performance and a good overall artist. Now, Toronto really showed out for Taylor Swift. We had signs changed for her. We had the giant bracelet came in and so much more, but I'm not gonna get into that. I just like the idea that because she had the 6 shows in Toronto, that they really made it worth it for the people who had to fly in from across the country or even across the border to see her. And some of you may be saying, why are they spending all this money for Taylor Swift? Why are they giving her so much more hype than they do even Canadian artists? And she's bringing in the dough, okay guys? With all the people that are traveling to the city, who are staying in hotels, who are eating at restaurants, she is bringing money into the city. And I think that's reason enough from a government standpoint. Now, I got to speak to the fans, and I'm gonna tell you this right now, I love the Swifties. Love them, love them, love them. They are the sweetest, most positive, most adorable fan base. As someone who does cosplay and who is really into anime, it did remind me of like a Comic-Con or an anime convention where people dress up, they take on this character, they do little activities that are inspired by a certain show or movie. So people did a lot of costumes based on the different eras, like the folklore outfits and the Evermore outfits. I'm a big fantasy girl, so that was probably my favorite to see out of all of the eras. Even the bracelet exchanges that were going on, I had no bracelets starting off and I had a few once I left, and it really encourages a sense of togetherness. The fans, the Swifties, I love them. Love you guys. Now let's get into Taylor Swift's performance. I'm gonna start off with the pros. I think each set was beautiful as you were transported to the different eras. Everything had its own unique theme. She had dancers of all shapes and sizes and colors. During Karma, there's this one dancer, his name is Cam, and he always says something that kind of is related to the city that they're in. So even for Toronto, I think he said, sorry about it.
You know that we're never getting back together.
Sorry about it.
I've never said about like that in my life, but the story is on point. I love that she had costume changes. I like that there was pyro, there was confetti, there was snow at one point. The visuals in the background were beautiful, especially the folklore and the Evermore stages. I think those were my favorite. And then the beginning when she's showing the house with all the different eras, and also the Reputation era where she has the snake bodysuit. Taylor remained engaged with the audience the entire show. She's giving speeches, she's thanking Toronto, she's saying things specifically to her audience. She even said folklore belongs in Canada, like that's what it reminds her of. She was very personable with the crowd. She even gave a kid her hat during the Red era, one of the songs there, I think it was 22. That was really sweet. I think with all the energy people gave to her, she gave it 100 times back. She never once looked tired, though she's doing 6 shows, so I wonder if it'll keep that energy for the 6th show. And she really worked the entire stage. She was at the back, the front, left, right, looking at people in their eyes, engaging with them. She had different levels on the stage. All of that made it such an incredible performance to watch, and it was always, something was always going on. Even during her costume transitions, you were still very much entertained. Now let's get into the cons. The show was very, very long. The show lasted longer than the Batman, starting with Gracie Abrams. She started at about 6:45 and the show went on past 11. And I'm thinking about the kids that are there that probably don't have the stamina to be, you know, dancing and having a great time for 4 hours. Maybe they do, but I didn't. So I think by maybe halfway through, I'm looking at my watch like, we have halfway to go. And especially considering a lot of people come early to line up, to get merch, to engage with everyone else outside. So for me, I had been there since 3:30. So from 3:30 to almost 11:30 is a very, very long time to be at a show. I even heard a fan at the end say she wishes she had the amount of energy at the end of the show as she did at the beginning. My next point is, you know what? I know Taylor is a show woman. There's a lot of artists that go on stage and they play a character or they're playing some sort of role on there. I felt like at times Taylor Swift was very cringe. And I'm a fan of cringe. Honestly, go ahead, be cringe. Be who you are or put on the character that you want to be. I just didn't feel like hers was as believable as other performers I've seen. Like Nicki Minaj has many characters, but I believe them. I feel like she embodies them when she's on stage. Not that Taylor Swift isn't doing that. I just feel like the type of character she was playing, I felt like I'm watching someone act rather than actually seeing a character come to life.
You're making me feel really powerful.
Again, I'm all for cringe. I just didn't believe it. Not that she should stop. She does her thing. That's just how I felt. Now, a lot of people's confusion as to why Taylor Swift is such a big artist is that they feel that her songs are kind of basic. They're kind of mid. The writing isn't that good. These are just the arguments people have brought forward against Taylor Swift. Listening to some of the songs, they were not my cup of tea. I felt like they weren't doing much for me, okay? I wasn't trying to dance to them. I'm still enjoying the performance because I'm a fan of music, but they're songs I probably would never listen to again. So once those moments did come, and especially it being so long, and my number one problem with the entire performance was that I did not like being on the floor. So I was in row 15 and I felt like I was battling to try to get a good view with all the phones and heads in the air. I wasn't able to see the full production. Like you could only really see it, like your neck is craned this way. And if she's not at the front, you're kind of watching through phones at that point because she's so far away. So I do think for a huge stadium tour like this, it's so cool to see it from higher up, from a more elevated seat so that you could see the full production, how the different elements included in each performance kind of play together. I just feel like you can really see the grandeur of the performance from higher up and further back. Didn't like the floor. Now overall, even though I was on the floor and didn't really get to see I didn't feel like I got to see the full performance for what it was. Just all the elements included, the dancers, the costumes, the pyro, the confetti, everything, the transitions, the visuals, everything that you could want from a performance, she gave in this show, in this ERAS tour. It was really incredible to watch, and I've seen a lot of shows, guys. So I think for that part, the performance part, the production part, it's a 10 out of 10. Now you guys wanna know if the Taylor Swift show is worth it. I think it's so worth it if you're a fan, even if you just like a handful of her songs and you like that type of music, totally worth it. If you're a non-Swiftie, I think it's worth it to see the performance aspect and how everything ties together. I do wish I knew more about Taylor to totally understand how everything played together, but even just having those things explained to me, I thought everything was really cool and really interesting. Now I left the show being a fan of 3 new songs. Again, I said I didn't really like most of her songs aside from the ones that I knew, but I did really like Willow, Down Bad, and Ready For It. Those 3, those are my new bops, and I will be adding them to my playlist. That's all I got for you guys. If you have any more questions, let me know in the comments. Swifties, non-Swifties, let me know what you guys think of this whole phenomenon that is Taylor Swift. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next YouTube video. Peace out. Much love.